Moving to the Portland area, wondering what Tualatin, Oregon is all about. It's one of the best suburbs in the Portland metro area, definitely suburbia to the max. In this video, we're going to look at what Tualatin, Oregon is all about, so stay tuned to learn more. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Paul Clem with the Home Team Brokers coming to you from Tualatin, Oregon today. And if this is your first time to the channel living in Oregon, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. We get people reaching out to us all the time who are relocating, moving to the Portland area. We love to hear from you. We love to help. So if that's you, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link below in the description of this video and schedule a Zoom call with us. Either way, we would love to help with your move to Portland. All right, let's talk about Tualatin, Oregon. Tualatin is definitely very suburban living. There's a few distinct neighborhoods. A lot of this area was really developed over the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and you do get some new construction. There are some older neighborhoods, mid-century, some areas developed, you know, in the 50s and 60s, maybe into the 70s, but it definitely trends, you know, toward some newer housing compared to some other areas that you can get in the Portland metro area. And so the median sale price in Tualatin is up near around $600,000. That's going to be more of an entry-level home. Typically, you might be able to find, you know, some townhouses. There are some condos here, but a lot of the homes here are single-family residents. So that's primarily what you're going to get in this area, and you're going to get mostly larger homes as well. So a lot of 4 bedrooms, a lot of, you know, there's not going to be a ton of homes under 2,000 square feet. Definitely a very family-oriented area, a lot of great parks, and definitely a very strong community feel here. There's one public high school in Tualatin. I think it's definitely one of the larger high schools in the Portland metro area. There's a few elementary schools and a couple of middle schools that feed into that high school. Tualatin is definitely, you know, when you look at like youth sports, you always see Tualatin High School, you know, in the state playoffs for, you know, baseball, basketball, football, you know, so, you know, all the major sports, and I'm sure, you know, other sports as well. So Tualatin has a pretty big footprint geographically. It's about 8 square miles. There's 28,000 residents, people who live here. So it doesn't feel too densely populated, kind of in the, you know, surrounding areas, in particular to the west and to the south. You tend to get pretty rural. So this is an area that was once just a truck stop off of I-5, you know, again, has been developed more recently, you know, in the past few decades. So, you know, one thing when you get areas that were developed more recently is you get smaller lots. So you get into some of these neighborhoods and it does feel a little bit congested, but this definitely isn't urban, you know, an urban setting by any means. In fact, this is probably, you know, an area that has amongst, you know, the most suburban feel in the Portland metro area. You know, really what I would compare this to is an area called Happy Valley that's on the east side of the river over in Clackamas County. We're here in Washington County in Tualatin. And that's another thing that, you know, really draws people to the area. Portland proper and Multnomah County has a lot of great suburbs and a lot of great residential areas. But property taxes are definitely going to be lower here in an area like Tualatin, being in Washington County. Another great thing too is you're really not too far from Portland. So if you work up in Beaverton or if you work in downtown Portland, for example, you know, the commute can be a little bit tough if you're looking at rush hour. Obviously, a lot more people are working remote these days. So if you want to be in a suburban setting surrounded by parks and trees, Tualatin's a great place to land. But, you know, if you're not looking at rush hour, getting to downtown Portland is really just 15-20 minutes. And, you know, you can get to areas to the south, to the west, to the east, other areas like Lake Oswego, which is very desirable and has a great little downtown area with great restaurants. You can get out west to the coast, you know, in an hour, hour and a half. You can still get over to the mountain very easily. So it's very accessible to a lot of different areas throughout the Portland metro area and beyond that you would want to access. And Tualatin is conveniently located just, you know, right off of I-5. So Interstate 5 goes right up through the middle of the Portland metro area. Again, you know, this was once just a truck stop on I-5. It's developed into this suburban area, kind of, you know, into what it is today. But, you know, getting up onto I-5, going north or south, very easy, very accessible. You can also get on I-205, which will take you out to Clackamas, Happy Valley area, and that, you know, you can take that if you want to get out to the mountain and go out to Mount Hood. So Tualatin itself is really kind of anchored by the Martinazzi Plaza and Lake of the Commons, kind of this downtown area that, you know, really, you know, I wouldn't consider to be a downtown area, but there are some restaurants, you know, there are some cool kind of independent, you know, local restaurants, and, you know, some shopping that you can do around here. Right off I-5, you do have like a Cabela's, for example. There's a Fred Meyer, which is the local Kroger chain, one-stop shopping, that's their motto. There are some bars around this area, but this is right here off of I-5, just on the east side of the freeway. There is some shopping. There's a shopping center as well. There's some retail. There's a Best Buy. So really kind of everything you need. You know, you don't have to leave Tualatin. You don't have to go too far to get the things that you need. And then surrounding this kind of central point in Tualatin are these different neighborhoods. There's neighborhoods up just to the east, up by the hospital, Meridian Park. I believe that's a Providence hospital. And then to the west and to the south, you have areas like Ibach Park, which it's a little more wooded in there. It's really nice. We're going to take a look at that. And then to the north of Tualatin, still in Tualatin, you have Bridgeport Village, which was opened in 2005. It's one of the only kind of open air outdoor shopping malls in the area. Really popular. I know that is, you know, definitely considered one of the best places for shopping. If you like shopping, you know, going out, you know, trying on clothes, doing all that, not really my thing, but Bridgeport Village is definitely a good spot for that. There's restaurants in there. There's a movie theater. I believe there's an IMAX movie theater there. So really kind of has it all. And then if you follow a little bit to the east, there's actually some rural area there in an area called Stafford. So, you know, once you get a little bit east, again, south and west as well, really kind of rural around Tualatin, but on the east side, you know, Stafford's really nice, and you get out to some areas where there's like pumpkin patches and Christmas tree farms, which is a really popular thing for people to do throughout the Portland metro area. And if you're living in Tualatin, you know, you can drive 10-15 minutes and get to some of these places. They're really popular, especially in the fall. You know, you can go get your hot cider, you know, maybe make some s'mores, pick out your pumpkins, or later in the year, pick out your Christmas trees. It's a ton of fun. Tualatin's definitely an area that tends to get overlooked, in particular for people who are relocating to the area. You know, Beaverton Hillsboro is an area with a lot of jobs, and that's you know, if you're looking for, in particular, suburban lifestyle, those are areas that are really kind of on people's radar right away if you're relocating from out of state. But Tualatin does have some jobs right here. There are, you know, there's some manufacturing, there are some industrial areas there, so there are some employers right here in Tualatin. But again, if you were to end up in Tualatin, you know, you would be able to get to Beaverton or even get to downtown Portland or other areas within the Portland metro area, you know, as far as a commute, and it really wouldn't be that bad, obviously, you know, depending on how far you have to go. But, Again, the accessibility with I-5 and 205, really easy to get to and from. I think, being a little bit smaller, being a little bit off the beaten path as far as kind of being further south of the city, being that it has a Native American name that some people, when they see it on a map, they don't know how to pronounce it. It's Tualatin, just so you know, for future reference. But if you're looking for kind of quintessential suburban lifestyle, Tualatin ends up being a place that people who are looking for that type of environment, you really tend to gravitate toward. And I think people really like it because it's safe. There's not a lot of crime. Again, it's accessible. It's clean. It's very well laid out. There's great amenities. It has everything that you need. It has top-rated schools. And your dollar can go a little bit further when you're looking at getting homes that are a little bit newer, a little bit better cared for, and kind of stretching your budget a little more, especially if you're looking for a little bit of a larger homes. Tualatin is an area that sounds like it checks some boxes for you. Let's talk about different neighborhoods in Tualatin and areas that you could potentially see yourself living. Maybe take a look at some homes, and really you just got to reach out to us. So give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, click the link below in the description of this video. Let's schedule a Zoom call and talk about your search, talk about your timeline. If this video is helpful, make sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. We really appreciate you watching. Hope this was helpful. We'll talk to you next time.